Imagine defending yourself against intense global political scrutiny by pulling your private household dynamic directly onto the world stage. That is precisely what happened when Elon Musk sat down for a wide-ranging interview with The Economist. When pushed directly on why critics continuously accuse him of holding racist views or promoting divisive rhetoric on his platform, Musk didn't respond with corporate boilerplate or PR-approved policy statistics. Instead, he pointed straight to his personal life, publicly citing Neuralink executive Shivon Zilis as his partner, bringing up her half-Indian heritage, and pointing out that they have 4 children together. He went even further, revealing that one of their sons carries a middle name honoring the legendary Indian astrophysicist Subramanian Chandrasekhar as explicit proof of his personal values. Within hours of the clip circulating, X essentially exploded into a battleground over a single question. Can a billionaire's private romantic and domestic life serve as a legitimate shield against public criticism? The immediate aftermath across social feeds was a chaotic split between vocal supporters and sharp critics. On one side, loyal followers argued that Musk's personal commitments speak louder than online commentary, asserting that building a family with a partner from a diverse background and honoring historical scientific figures of color inherently refutes accusations of racial malice. But on the other side, media analysts, legal observers, and online commentators seized on the statement with intense skepticism. Many quickly pointed out that using personal relationships to counter structural or political critiques is a classic rhetorical defense, one that often backfires because it conflates individual affection with broader public policy positions. To understand why this specific moment triggered such a massive reaction, you have to look at the sheer weight of context surrounding Shivon Zilis herself. She isn't just a private partner living out of the spotlight. Zilis is a high-ranking artificial intelligence executive, a Yale graduate, a key player at Neuralink, and someone who previously sat on the board of OpenAI. Just months before this interview, her name was already plastered across headlines during Musk's explosive trial against Sam Altman and OpenAI. During that trial, Zilis took the witness stand, where internal communications and the exact nature of her relationship with Musk were picked apart under oath in front of a federal jury. In that courtroom setting, lawyers pressed Zilis on her dual role, acting as a facilitator between Musk and OpenAI while simultaneously building a family with him through IVF. It pulled what was once a quiet, highly secretive personal arrangement into the public record. So when Musk casually dropped her name and their family structure during a high-level interview to deflect ideological criticism, it reopened an entire record of courtroom testimony, corporate governance questions, and public fascination that had been simmering for months. In that courtroom setting, lawyers pressed Zilis on her dual role, acting as a facilitator between Musk and OpenAI while simultaneously building a family with him through IVF. It pulled what was once a quiet, highly secretive personal arrangement into the public record. So when Musk casually dropped her name and their family structure during a high-level interview to deflect ideological criticism, it reopened an entire record of courtroom testimony, corporate governance questions, and public fascination that had been simmering for months. This escalation highlights a fascinating trend in modern tech culture: the complete collapse of the boundary between personal life and corporate leadership. In traditional corporate America, an executive-facing public backlash relies on PR departments, policy white papers, or statistical audits of their workforce. But in the modern tech ecosystem, where personalities drive market valuations and social media platforms function as personal megaphones, the founder's personal identity becomes the ultimate argument. Musk choosing to lean into his family structure as an ideological defense proves just how deeply intertwined his public image, his corporate ventures, and his personal choices have become. For Zilis, this dynamic puts her in an exceptionally complex spot. She is an accomplished AI strategist navigating cutting-edge technology, yet her professional work is constantly viewed through the lens of her high-profile personal relationship. Every time her name enters the trending tab, the public debate swings wildly between her credentials as an executive and her role in an unconventional family structure. The online reaction over the past 72 hours reveals a culture that is increasingly exhausted by corporate figureheads using personal life details to dodge substantive policy questions. When someone controls one of the largest communication platforms on the planet, their public posts and platform moderation decisions carry real-world weight. Trying to answer systematic questions about algorithm amplification or public rhetoric by pointing to who you share a home with creates an obvious disconnect for the audience. Whether this interview moment fades into the endless noise of a tech news cycle or remains a permanent reference point in discussions about Silicon Valley leadership remains to be seen. But it leaves us with an undeniable reality. In an era where power, media platforms, and personal branding are concentrated in the hands of a few individuals, the line where public responsibility ends and private life begins has officially disappeared.